Welcome back to Midco Sports tonight. More basketball, more David Brown. Similar questions to what we had on the men's side. Another close preseason poll. MSU Moorhead, the favorite over Northern State by just 4 points. So the question is, should the Dragons be the favorite?
I think they should. And similar to Northern State on the men's side, MSU Moorhead retains most of its depth, number one. And number two, they have the reigning NSIC Player of the Year in Drew Sanis, averaged more than 15 points and 8 rebounds a game in just 26 minutes. Part of the reason that MSU Moorhead figures to do well this season, Carl, is because they don't really have to play their starters more than 30 minutes a game in a 40-minute contest. But Sanis is everything you could want in a player. 6'3", not afraid to play inside and get tough rebounds, but also shoots better than 36% from the outside as well. One of the most well-established two-way players in the league. Sanis and the Dragons should be the clear favorites in not just the NSIC North Division, but in the NSIC overall. MSU Moorhead is the favorite.
And Sanis is a senior, so you got to think she's going to finish strong. Well, moving on, what team is the biggest surprise when you look at the women's preseason poll?
Well, they're 0-4 right now, but I think Minnesota Crookston is honestly a little low at 13th. This is a team that lost a majority of its conference games last season by just single digits. They also won a conference tournament game on the road in the first round at Concordia St. Paul. There's depth and talent up in Crookston, led by Isioma Odor, Michaela Noga, and Caitlin Michaels, all key contributors on last season's squad. But Odor in particular is a double-double machine for the Golden Eagles, and her presence inside can help others around her spot up from the outside. Minnesota Crookston, in my opinion, probably still a year or two away from being a legitimate threat in the top of the conference, but I still think they can do some damage this season, put themselves on the radar. I don't think they're a lower quarter team. I think they're better than 13th, as the preseason poll indicated for the Golden Eagles.
Yeah, for sure. Well, there's always a surprise in this
Always.
league. So who do you think has the best chance to be the surprise team of the NSIC?
Well, we'll stay in the NSIC North and look up to University of Mary, Similar to Crookston, Mary has a player, Gabby Bull, who's established herself as a great inside presence. Just a sophomore from Minot, by the way, so she chose to head south to go to Bismarck. The reigning freshman of the year, averaging 15 and 6 in that freshman season, continuing those numbers early in her sophomore campaign, and that's allowed the Marauders to hit more from outside. They're in the top half right now of the NSIC in both field goal and three-point field goal percentage, and plus they're getting a great North Dakota high school player back in Jordan Josart from Bismarck Century. She transfers in from Division I Marist. UMary's been competitive in the first round of the NSIC tournament the past 3 seasons. The problem is they've lost all those games, but only by single digits. The Marauders could surprise some people if they can play more consistent this season. I think UMary's a team to keep an eye on.
Yeah, it definitely feels like they're on the brink of something great in their program. Well, finally, a lot of people know about the stars in the league, but who is someone that they should keep an eye on?
I think it's Anna Schmidt from Concordia St. Paul. It was only a couple years ago that CSP was kind of the cream of the crop in the NSIC, and the only reason I say Schmidt's under the radar is because CSP's had a couple mediocre seasons, went through a coaching change a couple years ago, but the Golden Bears are poised to get back to the top of the season, and they're going to do it thanks to junior Anna Schmidt, averaging more than 26 points per game this season, best in the NSIC, led the conference in scoring last year as well. She's a do-everything player, shoots great from 3, gets to the free throw line, all those intangibles you look for in a leader and a star. She has the capability to take Concordia St. Paul far. Anna Schmidt, my player to watch this season.
All right, David. Well, thanks so much for joining us. When we come back, we're going to stay on the theme of basketball, but switch schools to North Dakota State. We'll sit down with head coach Dave Richmond to check in on the Bison.